set correctly. And more than not, they're not set correctly. Um, we pretty much just report that and show them show them how we get in. Because there's more than one. Like for instance, there was a Oracle CVE that came out, and this server actually it was vulnerable to that CVE. So we popped it and got into the CDE, the credit card environment, and yeah, fun times for me, not so much for the team that had to set it up.
And so why don't we just get into it? It's 8 o'clock on the dot. Let's get this party started, bro. You mentioned fun for you, so it sounds like you have a deep passion for this. Can you walk us back into time? Not going down any crazy tangents, but just give us the streamlined version of who are you, where'd you come from, bro? How did you get to where you are now? I know it's years and years, but do the best you can to keep us on target here.
Sure. I used to work construction before, but I started out my career with CompTIA A+. Got a job through staffing, rub some shoulders with the right people, start talking, went perm. After that, I moved to the NOC, the Network Operations Center. I stayed there working not CEH, and the security team was bringing on their wanted to create their red team, so I was the only red teamer. So they hired me with the CEH, and so I had Rapid7, Metasploit. This was back in the gap, like so I had those, and then as I was building and getting more certifications, I worked government, so I was working for Harris County. I don't mind telling that. I worked for Harris County for probably like 2 or 3 years. Got tapped on the shoulder by a staffing agency, said they'll double my pay. Staffing agency said they'll double my pay, and the rest is history. So I worked in the energy sector, so energy transfer, moved there, and now I'm working at this credit card company. And throughout that time, I always got another cert. Not so much that I wanted to have the cert, but I know like certs get you jobs. It doesn't necessarily translate that you're like, everything about it, right? But so I got my OSCP and became part of a red team at my current company. They didn't have one. So I stood that one up, and I have like 2 people that work with me on that team. Also, we do a lot of I do penetration testing. I'm a senior penetration tester, and I'm over the red team. And we do some of the black tests too. So basically, it's physical penetration tests, but they call it black teaming.
That's new for me. Is that within that org they use that terminology, or is that something that's used in the industry? The black.
Oh
team?
yeah, yes, black team. So you could do if you do a Google search, do red team versus black team, and it'll kind of give you it's more on the physical side.
Okay. Something like that. Okay. So you said some key things there that I caught. Something like that. Okay. EAs, the OSCP, and I know you're not a certs guy, but you don't push heavy attention to certs, but the way that you kind of layered it in there, you just kind of grabbed them along the way. I want to focus in on that you said the staffing company came into the equation, and then things just kind of went off from there. Did you find the staffing company, or did the staffing company find you?
They reached out to me over LinkedIn.
Nice.
And yes.
So would you say that your LinkedIn, it had some information on there that was telling to the type of stuff you're interested in?
Yes, definitely. Yes. I always tell the people that are looking for jobs, definitely get on LinkedIn. You have to network with people in order to get the best outcome. And that's anywhere you go, whether you go to a conference or you go into like the hacker spaces or whatever, like network with people, talk with people, and you'll usually be successful. Don't just depend on that piece of paper, you know, because like they say, it's not so much what you know, it's who you know as well. And that actually helps to succeed in this field.
Okay. All right. Let's get this party started, bro. Red teaming. Let's break it down for the novice folks. You're gonna probably have some folks in here that have a background in it. I don't think they're here yet. But let's talk to the novice folks really quick, and let's for the first time for folks who are just now seeing red teaming on the screen, and they're like, what is that? Can you give us that high, 30,000 foot cruising altitude view of what red teaming is?
Okay, so red team is pretty much just emulation of what bad actors would do. The quote bad hackers. We will go with looking through MITRE ATT&CKs. We'll go to the dark web. We'll grab the leak list, and leak lists are so. Whenever you go to like Google or something like that, and you see like, oh, this place has leaked all their databases and blah blah blah, we'll go grab that because that's extremely valuable for what we do. And then we also like if there's like a certain how can I put it? If there's a certain area that they will want us to focus on, we come at it like an actual attacker. They give us nothing, which is called a black box. So they just say, hey, do what you can do against our company. And with that information, we just go look for anything on open source, we're doing reconnaissance or recon. I'm looking for emails, for credential stuffing, looking for dump lists. Also, we definitely check your pages. I usually use it's a tool called Shodan, and Shodan is extremely valuable for passive reconnaissance. If that you can get a pretty good picture of what the company looks like and learn where to attack.
Gotcha. And I know that you didn't give us an exhaustive list of different things that you go and check, but those major things like credentials and dump lists and emails, and when you said pages, were you talking about like LinkedIn pages, or what type of pages are we talking about?
Oh, LinkedIn, anything tied to that company name, I'll scrape LinkedIn to see like who's working there. Because there's actually a tool already that does it pretty much. You just need to get the API key. So scraping the LinkedIn, scraping Facebook, even going, so with Shodan, we'll look at the pages. Look, when I say pages, looking for specific web applications that we could like do credential stuff in, like which is reusing the password username we found in the dump list. Hopefully they haven't changed it yet. And we'll try that and see if we can get in. And also too, there's a level of patience you have to have when you're doing red team. It's not so much like, hey, I found this, I want to attack. No, you want to get in initially and then kind of stay quiet for a little bit and see what else you can find. Because those defensive tools, they are really good. They didn't spend millions for nothing. Like, they're good.
Ooh, okay. I see where you're going. We got Nigel on the panel. Let me jump in, Nigel, real quick. He said something that caught my attention, skills. So you said LinkedIn, right? And I'm thinking in my head, wow, we could leverage this opportunity to kind of learn the different things that maybe we shouldn't be putting on LinkedIn, even though it allows for us to put it on LinkedIn. Anything that comes to mind that may help us protect our organizations that we work for, environment, as far as like what not to put on LinkedIn or you shouldn't? That's a big no-no.
Not so. I use the LinkedIn scraping just to find like I'm looking for a particular type of person that I can go after. someone that I would think that wouldn't be technical, but maybe in a pretty high position. And I would, do my phishing campaigns against that person. So that's kind of how I use it. And also to scrape email addresses and phone numbers and stuff like that. So I can cross-reference that with the dump list and hopefully get a match.
And sometimes there's a match.
Oh, there's a match more than you would believe. I always find something.
I like that. We could take it in multiple directions here. Nigel, anything immediately coming up in your head?
No, not currently. I mean, I guess maybe going over, like, for the audience, what the red team life cycle looks like.
Okay. So on a day-to-day basis, and I'm only speaking about red team, not the penetration testing, because like those are two different ones. So for the red team, I'm usually just looking for dumps. I'm scanning the perimeter, and no one's aware of this. So I'm going to show that I'm doing the Google Dorks hacks. I'm looking for vulnerabilities every single day, and sometimes you'll get a hit on something, sometimes you won't. Looking through like people's even their private life at times. That has to be signed off on, but usually we'll do that as well. Internally, just pretty much getting footholds into servers and trying to avoid all of the security defenses that are in place, which is actually it's been pretty good because once I got like 4 or 5 systems I'm in already, and I'm just living off the land at that point. And what that means, I'm using the tools that are already on the systems. I'm not adding anything or putting anything new or creating it. I'm just using what they have. And I've come to find out there's a lot of information in Linux administrators' bash history. So their bash history, because no one clears their bash history. Also looking through the cron jobs and looking through scheduled tasks on all these different systems. So it's really pretty much like you're staying under the radar as much as possible and not causing any like alerts to go off. Now, on the penetration, and forgive me for jumping around because like that's how my mind works. So we're talking about red team. There's a difference between red teaming and penetration testing. Penetration testing is pretty much you're scanning, you're using Nmap or Nessus or Rapid7 or whichever vulnerability management tool you're using, and you're just looking for vulnerable software and seeing if there's an exploit for it. And that's pretty much all penetration testing is doing at that point. Red teaming is a more James Bond types, when you look at it that way. You're trying not to get caught and you want to get as much information to stay quiet as possible. And that's pretty much what I do on a daily basis because I really don't have full network as the scope. Internal, external, so we're constantly looking in dark web and that's why excuse me. And that's why I like to always tell everyone about whenever you're referring to red teaming is that don't think about it as like, hey, I got this defined scope. You got to think extremely outside of the box of how to get some information about this company.
Cool. So, I guess I have some questions, does your red team engagements or how you're conducting your emulations or simulations, however you want to call it, are any of them CTI driven? Like, do you use any cyber threat intelligence, or do you partner with that team to do some of your adversary emulations?
No, not really. I mean, so we have Google Threat Intelligence. I'll look at that every once in a while to see what they have, but like it's really just me and the other two guys that works with me. And we do, and most of our stuff is just manual. We use everything that we find, like, as we would say, on the streets. Like
So,
whether, hmm
yeah, no, sorry, not to cut your wisdom.
oh no,
I
you
just,
good.
that's interesting. Actually, I won't ask you that.
No,
Um,
ask me. Go ahead.
no, I mean, I'm just curious of your company structure because, like, I dabble in red team. I guess technically I would be like a purple teamer, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. But
Okay.
I do red teaming stuff, or I partner very closely with red team, right, at my organization, and we're developing and doing things. It's called now has a funny buzzword. It's called like CTEM, continuous threat exposure management, but essentially it's where red teaming is CTI driven, right? And the reason why this is, I've gotten a lot of good feedback and why it's pretty effective is because when you're doing your red teaming engagements, right? Instead of kind of doing manual and out of scope or kind of just random red team emulations, when they're CCI driven, they're more applicable to your organization or the organization that you're consulting for or things of that nature, right? What I mean by that, you're doing threats or mapping TTPs to go test against that are relevant and are being attacked by that specific organization, right? So if you're using, even if you're doing manually, if you're using things like Atomic Red Team or Mighty Caldera, things like that, like you can base your engagement on things that are relevant to the organization based off of CTI, right? So relevant to the organization based off of CTI, right? So like if you're going to do like initial access, MFA fatigues, QR, whatever, credential harvesting, things like that, you can pinpoint it and say that, hey, these things are applicable to my organization based off of, industry news, trending campaigns, things of that nature. And then your work is a little bit more, how can I say, it's a little bit more applicable, right? It makes more sense to what you're doing your engagements on. Like everyone could, go look for crash, try and do L dash dumps, like normal red teaming stuff of adversaries. You can deliver a lot of value and give a lot of reassurance to leadership on the work that you're doing. And that's what, I need to do and what I partner with to highlight.
So are you emulating APT groups? So for our company, like Fin7 is one that we emulate, and we use the MITRE framework for it. And then there's the UNCs, like that's their naming for those groups. So yeah, I kind of get what you're saying. So anything, without telling my job, credit card related, yes, those would be the emulations that we would do.
Got it. So, yeah, they could be, APT groups, ransomware groups. More so, I think, I feel, so I feel like I'm just doing like a consulting call. I'm trying not to make it like that. I'm making it more like a
Nah, you good, bro. You
conversation.
good.
But like, so essentially, yes, APT groups, TCP specific. So think of it like, let's say you have, or an organization has a heat map of their controls, right? What controls, what detections they have in place from an EDR perspective, a SIM perspective, et cetera, et cetera. And let's say CTI says, hey, these are the TCPs of a focus that we need to make sure that we have detection in place, right? So we have intel that says these are the things that matter to us. We then go hunt for those things or do maybe reconnaissance, things of that nature to see if we're, currently affected and or need to see if we have detections in place, right? Then we move from the hunting piece to kind of like the adversary simulation piece, right? To where now we are reenacting if we do this specific TTP, and do we see detections in our logs from a monitoring block, kill, perspective, right? This is where you kind of go from red teaming into purple teaming, right? Yes, sometimes you want to not know, let the SOC know what you're doing, but at the same time, you also want to test your defense controls to see if they're actually picking up on that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's obviously I'm speaking to a mature organization level when it comes to that, but
we're far off. That's the
and that's why I said I didn't want to turn this into a consulting call, because at the same time I want to, you know what I'm saying, like I want to help my brother out, like, hey, you can take this back to your organization, like, hey, look what I came up with, you know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah, they'll be like, oh, that's a great idea, but are you gonna pay for these extra people that we're gonna need? Like,
hey, if you're able to show the value and the reason why, the resources will come, unless they just want to be negligent, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to leadership, they always need to know the why this matters and what is it going to cost and how is it going to save us money.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. When I first got hired, I've been there for 5 years. In the interview process, this is what they told me. You've never worked at another place like you're about to work at right now. And I did not know what that means until like about 2 years in. I'm like, okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. But yeah, that's really all I had. Just another perspective. That's how I would say, I would, red teaming. Like I said, I'm familiar with the tools, open source, and the vendors like the BAS, the breach and assimilation tool, breach attack tools. So, I don't call myself a red teamer, but I'm in the weeds.
Take the title, bro. Take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had something over here. Well, actually, I'm looking in the comments. Looks like that geek is wanting to know about AI-driven frameworks like CAI. Any exposure?
So what I'm using the Hexstrike and Villager MCP servers with Kali Linux.
You're gonna have to say that slow one more time.
Oh, sorry about that. I'm using it's the coffee. Now I'm using the MCP server Hexstrike. I'm also using Villager. I tie those together with Light LLM, and I use LM Studio as the client.
Nice.
And for the model I'm using the GPT OSS 20B. And also apart from that, Gemini CLI. And I'm trying to, so at our company we have ChatGTP, but they did not buy the most important version, which is the API is what we need. So I've been using my home computer as the source for external checks and everything like that. So yes, definitely AI driven. It's moving there, but like the company that I work for, they're kind of how can I put it in a nice way? There's a group of people there that just don't like change. I'll just say that.
And we see that within enterprise a lot in other places too. And to your point, like they may not maybe even Nigel's point too, they may not be willing initially to accept change, but depending on how it's presented and delivered and who pitched it and how it was pitched, when it was pitched. But I like that point you made about the, almost you don't want to be negligent, but at the same time, asking, hey, we need to throw some more resources. How many resources? Oh, I just need about $2 million to get this project off the ground. Okay, we're not there.
Exactly, bro. That's the dark side of security, in my personal opinion. Like you can have the best ideas, like, hey, I believe in this. This is going to work, and they're just like, oh, maybe next year.
And it does work, and folks are doing it, and it is next gen.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's reset real quick. Everyone, if you have questions, we have skills in the building. We're talking about red teaming. If you have questions about what this is, you know, even if it's a generic question, like he rattled off a list of tooling, something if you want to try and build something like this, you know, you have the opportunity to deep dive into some of your exact questions. So drop them in the chat. Feel free to come up. That's going to be the recommended way to get those questions off. All right, let's talk about some of those tools, bro, that you dropped, that you just rattled off like it was just nothing. I know, so I'm familiar with Gemini CLI, familiar as in aware that it's out there, haven't started using it fully, seen folks use it, but you said a few other things in there that's like, what's Villager and Hexstrike?
So Hexstrike is geared specifically to penetration testing. So it uses all of the tools that they're in pretty much in Kali or Black Arch, but it also adds some external tools. Like if you wanted to do like cloud pen testing or even Wi-Fi pen testing, it's all built into this one package. And then you install that on your system, and you could use an OpenAI key, or you can just there's a Olama. You can use Olama or LM Studio and use it that way, which is the way I like, because I like all my stuff at home. I don't want it to be shared, the logs.
I got you. So it's Hexstrike. I thought it was Stripe with a P as in Paul, but so how do you come across these tools like Hexstrike, and what sources are you plugged into that or communities are you connected with that gets you plugged into this type of tooling?
Okay, so I'm on medium.com a lot. I go to the hackernews.com. That's a good spot to find out new things. Dark web, I can give the list out. One of them, I mean, I guess it'll be okay. So Sinisterly, that's a forum. Like the forums are like golden. That's where you want to be at, the forums, and then there's some onion sites as well.
Gotcha.
That you go to.
So let's do this, because we're not encouraging folks to go to the dark web.
Yeah.
However, if you, for educational purposes, need to make sure that people were familiarizing themselves with the best ways to approach the dark web, would you start with like where would you start to get educated, so that way you're not walking into a landmine somewhere?
Oh wow. There's links, but are we wanting to tell them how to get on there, or
more just educational? Like, start here. Is it YouTube the best place to start, or is there other places that give you more insights that you know that's safe? Like, hey, here's what it is. Let me show you what it is. Have you come across a playlist?
No, I would say if you don't know anything, I would probably recommend going to Reddit. Okay. Don't go to YouTube for it. Yeah, Reddit's a good spot. But once you get into those sites and you build some reputation, Discord, and there's also Telegram groups as well. And they'll start to get, but you definitely want to try to get on the forums within it. They'll start to get, but dark web, because that's where all the stuff happens. That's where all like the things that get reported on Google and the news are like probably a week and a half late. So yeah. By the time it reaches like mainstream media, this has already been out. The lists have already been sold or distributed for free. So yeah. But Reddit's a pretty good source. I mean, you can't go wrong with that.
All right, let's pivot real quick. That's good information. Good looking out. I don't want to encourage folks to go there, but I do want to make sure that people are aware of the best places to go if you're wanting to get versed up. Let's talk networking real quick, man. How important is networking, computer networking, knowledge on networking, your network knowledge base to red teaming?
My personal opinion is extremely important. Honestly, I believe network is the most important thing in cybersecurity. Because just due to the fact if you don't know where you are on a network and how to get somewhere else, you're not going to be really successful. As far as like if you're trying to pivot into another place, or if you don't know what the CIDR is, or if you don't know like your IP configs, IF configs, net stats, if you don't know your routes, you have to know these things in order to be, in my personal opinion, in order to be successful in anything security. That I always recommend networking first. Like if someone's breaking out A plus, then networking. Networking definitely is a plus. So it's very high on the list for me.
Nice. And and congrats. It looks like you've been on my live for 200 minutes, man. I appreciate you coming through, showing love. I appreciate everyone. Cyber Unk, I see you over there, bro. DJ B-Sec, you always come through. J-Tech, I just met J-Tech, y'all, at a live prior to this one, and he's super humble, looking to break into back into the networking space. Which is why I raised that question up. So check him out, follow his page. He's got some good things going on. But we have skills here, y'all. We have skills here, answering questions, maybe for 30 more minutes or less, y'all. So you a veteran in the space and an open book, transparency, willing to share, tell it all. So I had to hold him back a couple of times.
Yeah, man, that's my thing, bro. Like I'm always like rambling about this stuff. Is like you see on my page like all the tools I have, like HackerF, Flipper, Zero, all these things. I go to DEF CON every year. I've been participating there for the last 4 years at DEF CON in Vegas. So
let's talk about it, bro. When you say participating, when you go out there, what type of stuff do you get into?
Oh, so I'm always
what type of stuff do you get into?
So the CTFs, I love the CTFs, the wired CTFs, and I've gotten, I don't have the black badge, but I have one of the small black badges for winning one of them. And it's just like capture the flag. I go capture the flag. I go there to all the red team events, network with people. We do stuff after the conference. It's man, for me, I believe anybody that's interested in red team or cybersecurity should definitely go at least once, because that's where security ever, in my personal opinion. So.
Yeah.
Yes, like you definitely want to go there. Like, even if you have any issues with something, just say you got the Flipper Zero, and you don't know too much about it because they got frameworks. They got Momentum. They had what was the other one? Rogue Master. Then they had was moved to Momentum. Like you go there and ask these people questions, they can get you set up quick. They can teach you something real quick, and that's the type of stuff that's the type of people you want to be around. And also another thing that happens at DEF CON too, I consider DEF CON like the golf course for rich people. That's who you go rub shoulders with, because, if someone's looking for something, or if you're looking for a job or something like that, everyone's there communicating. And yeah, that's like I said earlier, like, for me, it's all about networking, and DEF CON is a good place to do that.
Yeah. Thank. Feel free to come up, ask questions. I see Cyber Secrets up here. So you get to these conferences, you're networking. So the content, and you said something about like it's unlocked or I can't remember the words. But
uncensored,
bro. And it sounded like, and you didn't say this, but the after scenes uncensored, but even probably it sounded like the talks. Are the talks also uncensored as well?
Yes. So if when they give their talks, they actually show you exactly how to do whatever it is they're talking about. So there's no guesswork. When you're in there with that group of people with all that knowledge, like bring your questions definitely to that conference, and also you definitely want to group up with someone. Everybody's like super nice. There's like some personality things, but like still, like if you're super nice, like just hang out with people, talk about security, and you learn a lot. As much as I know, I still learn something new every time I go. And then, that's when you get to the Discord groups. That's when you start getting into like other places that require you to know someone to get into.
Hey, go ahead, Cyber Secrets, or I got another one too. If you don't have anything right now,
They give you the POC. Yes.
I was thinking. I think it's interesting how there's usually a way to get in or hack or something like that. But what are the most difficult environments? Because to me that kind of. But what are the most difficult environments? Because to me that kind of. What are the things that we learn from it? Like, oh, organizations that are set up like this are really difficult to crack. Like, that's a good posture. Like, what do you see that signals like good posture? Like, what can people do or practice that's like good posture? Is it like zero trust? Is it something else? Like,
I believe the things that they would need to work on most is their network segmentation. Like the things are not segmented well. Even through like the test, like they're not putting their firewall. What do you say? I'm sorry.
and that's true for the cloud too. Like, it doesn't matter whether it's on-prem or cloud. Just like people suck at network segmentation. That's what you're seeing.
Yeah, well, even with cloud, there's misconfigurations. They'll have like an admin page, like a WordPress admin page, like on the outside. So those are like those misconfigurations happen so much because like, and I don't know if it's that they don't know how to do it properly because cloud's not too old, but it's still kind of new to like most people, or like they just don't understand the firewalls and all of the the things that would protect their devices while in the cloud. Cloud's extremely, it's extremely vulnerable and it's due to them not properly setting it up. I found, like, I'll just give you one, like, there's a WordPress out there right now that I reported on last month, and it's still there. It's getting hit, it's getting sprayed, password sprayed, like, every day, and I'm like, why isn't this changing? And that's another thing too, whenever we find stuff, like, there should be a time frame of when you get this fixed. So critical, whatever, 10 days or something like that, but they're not following that. Because I've done a pen test and I can just grab the old report and just look at it and I'm like, well, they didn't fix this, they didn't fix that, they didn't fix this, they didn't fix that, and still find something else new. So that's an issue. And I don't know if it's because they're understaffed or they just don't have the right person in place that takes this position that they have seriously.
How big is the team?
The red team is 3. The SOC, there's 10. Then we got cyber assurance. It's like 2 of them. And then we have like some other guys in the UK. But they're on a whole different time zone. So we have the 24 hours covered. But I don't know if they're bogged down by tickets or, it's, and that's one of the reasons why I moved from the blue team to the red team. Like, back in the days, because like yeah, all I gotta do is win once and report on it. Like, blue team to the red was win.
No, yeah. So, I mean, so I was gonna say is that's interesting. You called out like network segmentation, right? That
When you
I was gonna like, you know, if you look at these are the pillars I think about in my mind, right? Like network, endpoint, cloud, identity, and there's another one that I can't think of. Oh, yeah. Like just what are the issues you see with network? What are the issues you see with identity? What are the issues you see with endpoint? Like is it always the same? And then are there solutions that you're pretty confident, like based on all the engagements you've had, like, yeah, if people would do this, we'd see attacks drop by, you know, a huge amount. Oh, the last one was the email. So like network, identity, email, cloud, and then I think I'm like mixing them up, but whatever ones you can remember.
well, so open relays, I found a lot of those, and someone should be checking this stuff. Like that's just one of the things that just I don't even get. But when it comes to networking and segmentation, there's ports open. Like some ports will be filtered, right? Like 80, 443, some of the other ports will be filtered. But then you have 22 and 3389 open. And this is supposed to be an isolated environment. So are you jumping in because you're being lazy and you want to just hop on your computer and just log in and then get into the environment instead of going to a jump server? You know, and that's for that one, the network segmentation part. So for the endpoints, like just say the laptops and all these different things, they don't really get scanned. At least where I'm at, like the other places they get scanned, but they don't get scanned, and people are putting things on there, and you can use the Carbon Black, the Mandy, all of these different agents and stuff like that. But if no one's actually taking them off and holding the people accountable for installing software on these devices, you know, it's on them. It's on the people that manage that. And I've gotten through by someone logging into their computer onto a server where I had Responder. Responder was already running. So for the ones that don't know, Responder just it sets up these fake servers, and I can grab their credentials and then hack them offline or do a pass the hash. But with those credentials, this was actually a high-level person, you know. So I had his credentials, and at that point, I could do whatever he does. You know, those are like the things that I see on a day-to-day basis, and I don't know if the people are just getting burnt out, or they just really don't understand security fully.
So then, do you think it helps to inform that kind of thing? Do you think it helps to be a blue team first and then red team, or red team first and then go into blue team, or it doesn't really matter? Like if you're in blue team, you should really just have an understanding of basic hygiene.
Yeah. Well, oh God, that's a tough one. But for me, I only worked on the blue team for like 6 months and decided what for me. Because all of the training that I took of, okay, we're going to use this, we're going to create an image, we're going to find out how this got on there. They don't do that. They're like, oh, you know, just send it to the guys, just let them re-image it. And I'm like, all this work that I went through, all these search for nothing. So me, red team is more rewarding, I should say.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, in the blue team, like they catch a lot of flack. No disrespect to no one that's on the blue team, but you know, you're bogged down with tickets every day. You're getting alerts from Bandit. You're getting email alerts. You're getting phishing alerts from PhishMe or whatever you're using. You're getting all these alerts, and you're always on the back foot. Like, and then there's always the people above, like, well, how come we didn't catch this? How come we didn't do this? Did you have this in place?
All the time.
Yeah, and I didn't like that, because I was like, not rebellious, but I'm like, well, look, if you would have let me do the first thing we did when we found the alert the first time, we probably could have prevented all of this, you know. So I'm like, yeah, I went to the red team, and that was it. So for me, red team, because I like to tinker around with stuff. I like to not have that concrete schedule. Seems like you get a little bit more freedom because the group is usually smaller, but you know, for me,
That's what
go
yeah.
ahead.
I was gonna say, no, that's funny. What I hear, you're like, I tried to work for the blue team side, but like it's like a villain origin story, right? Like nobody would listen to me, so now I'm on the red team.
It reminds me of the movie from what was it? Live or Die. With what was his name? God.
What, with Bruce Willis?
Yes, I'm trying to think of the guy's name. Not Warlock, the other one, the bad guy. He was like, I
Yeah,
told
he-
them that
he
this
was
could
like-
happen, but they crucified me.
Exactly.
Thomas Gabriel.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Swordfish was like that too, right? Like he's like, you know, I tried to tell them, they didn't listen, so I'm gonna show them.
Yeah, and if you show them, like, yeah, you're gonna get your walking papers, you know. So, yeah, but I enjoy the red team a lot. Besides, like, you know, I have labs and Wi-Fi stuff and all types of different things, and that actually helps me whenever I do like either like physical penetration tests, because like I don't need the company's tools to have fun. I don't have fun, you know. First off, I can't afford all that stuff. So open source is always great. And so it's red team for me all day. Oh, thank you guys.
Yeah, send you some flowers, bro. You appreciate you coming through and chatting with us and sharing some stuff. We got about 15 minutes, everyone, and then we're gonna shake on out of here. So I appreciate those questions, Cyber Secrets. If folks have questions, drop them in the chat or feel free to come up and.
What endpoint issues do you find frequently? Vulnerable versions, like of tools things that they've added. The company I work for is kind of like the Wild West. People just install stuff and we find it. Social engineering or spoofing a web page. Yeah, I mean, God. I mean, I don't know if you're asking like what tool I would use, but like, I don't know if you're asking like what tool I would use, but like, one of the tools I love is Evil Genius. It's the one that helps you bypass a two-factor. So hopefully I answered them. I got cyber degree, Net Plus, Security Plus, military help.
Is there anything that nobody's asked yet that you wish somebody would? Like, is there something that you're like, oh man, I wish somebody would ask about this?
Maybe the hardware tools. The tools that you like, so for physical penetration tests, like how do you get into buildings, lock picking, or capture people's Wi-Fi passwords and reusing them, attacking radius servers, or, you know, just the Wi-Fi side.
Do you have a lockpick set within arm's reach right now?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
No, I haven't had to use one, but the flipper can usually get me into like anything pretty much, just with social engineering, people like being nice, talking, and yeah, you know, holding the door open for you. There's a funny one too, like of getting into doors, like they switched it now. There was a sensor. There's a sensor on the inside of the door, you know, so you have to badge in, but you know, if you come in from inside out, there's nothing. So you get a can of like air, put the can upside down, stick it through the crack and spray it and it'll open up. And this is like doing like physical penetration tests.
Who's gonna be on the news tomorrow?
Yeah,
Oh, no.
everyone. We're not encouraging any of these things.
Yeah, full disclaimer. Like, yeah, it's crazy because people don't believe that, and these are things you learn at DEF CON. Like, there was a camera set up, and we had to bypass the motion sensor, and you use a piece of this, I think it's Mylar, that silver stuff.
Mhm.
You just gotta stay completely behind it and just walk, and you won't get detected.
I got a question for you,
That's
Thor.
crazy.
What about the things that you do on a daily to stay protected? For instance, I know if you might, I think I heard you say one time that even the AI that you use, you take it offline, or you have an offline version of whatever or LLM that you interface with. What are some other things that you do to protect yourself?
So I guess towards the AI thing, this probably would help as AI is becoming so huge. A lot of people, they'll use the Open AI or Claude or whichever API key to connect to their client. I don't use that. I use only local LLMs that I download and work offline. Uh, because like there's, I don't know if you read, like there's I don't know if it's a Google Dork, but they can see what you put in Chat GTP with some special Google search. I can't remember what it was. So I do that. I like to keep everything on my computers, that way I can that I can protect my information. I guess I go through, yeah, Bluetooth's always off, Wi-Fi is always off on my phone.
Are you putting up the cover over all your cameras and all that?
Oh, absolutely, every last one of them. Yes, or I'll disable it in the BIOS, or if that BIOS has that option, I'll turn it off. Because you can look through those cameras, especially if you get on someone's network, or if you send them like you send them a specialized link to their phone or something like that, and they click it, and you know they accept all the permissions, like you're good. And you can do that with SM Venom. You can create a custom payload, deliver it through. You can use set tools or something like that, and they click it. That's it. And so for social engineering, QR codes, malicious QR codes, malicious PDFs, the what's the one thing that
Ooh, what about the are you the IoT devices at home? Your smart lights, or are you messing with those, or you stay away from those?
I don't have nothing. I don't have an Echo. I don't no Amazon anything. No, like everything is open with a key. I don't even have cameras like in my house or nothing like that. Yeah. Oh yeah, but what NCO said too, like the zero click payloads. You just send it. You don't even have to click it. You know. Yeah, I don't use none of that stuff because those are they're just as vulnerable as well. You know, because like they're just trying to get a product out. They're not thinking security. You know, you have someone like us on your network with not good intentions, you know, and curiosity. You're gonna look for that stuff. And then also too, if you go to Shodan, Shodan shows a lot of devices that are actually on the internet, you know, because they have to get their update somehow. You know, they're on the internet and they're getting attacked all the time. So I don't mess with any of those things. I don't have a jar. I don't have copper wire everywhere. But but yeah, I'm pretty. I guess I could say not paranoid, but I know what's out there.
Yeah.
And
What's the name of the playlist on your page that has the series of videos where we can learn to be paranoid too, where we can learn what you learn about how to keep yourself safe and all this?
you know, I haven't man, I've thought about creating something for the longest time, but I'm like, man, my face is gonna be out there, but but I haven't created any content yet. Like I just recently uploaded one of all the tools that I have, and I was still like making sure there was nothing in the background or, you know, just like make sure I'm showing what I'm supposed to be showing.
OPSEC? Yeah.
Yeah, like, and I've grown to be like that after I've seen so much different stuff, so many different attack vectors. I could go all day from the ATM jackpotting to salami slicing. Salami slicing is when they get into like they get access to a bank and they take like $1 from each account, stuff like that. That's jackpotting is. So most of those. Is this gonna be okay to talk about, like, or should I? Oh, well, anyway, so ATMs, they have like the software is old. Most of it's like Windows 7, Windows XP, because it costs a lot of money for them to bring everything up to 10 or 11 or whatever. And people were using these devices, with the little the refrigerator key lock thing to open it up, and they'll put something in there, and people put something in there. The thin passwords, the thin skimmers, they're so thin you can slip them into the regular slot, and they're Bluetooth controlled. So you don't have to go back and get it. You just pass by the place and upload whatever you get. So it's out there like a slot machine. Oh, no, jackpots, they make all the bins push all the funds out. Trying to word this correctly. So when they say they jackpot, they just pretty much empty it. That was shown at DEF CON 2. The guy created it, and he had physical access to it. But you could also do it over a network if you actually get on that network, because they're all tied to some type of central unit.
All right, 5-minute timer, y'all. I got 2 rapid fire questions. 1, firewall at home. I'm sure you have one. If so, like, is it enterprise grade? And then 2 is the credit cards. You walk around with those chips on your credit cards, or you got some protector, some wallet, some special wallet?
All my cards are on my Flipper. I've copied all of them and put them on the Flipper Zero. So whenever I do touch, I just pick the card and press emulate and tap. Firewall, I got Comcast. I'm just using their firewall, but I have network monitoring on my computers when I turn it up in case something changes. I've used AID before, but I mean, to see if things change, but I'm kind of like, if you get into my network, like, I'm gonna see you. Like,
when you say network monitoring, like, what would you recommend tools like? I don't know, just like Syslog, or are you talking something else?
You can get a version of Splunk, right? And you don't have to pay for it. So but you don't get that much. So you gotta definitely change the filters and all that stuff, so you're not picking up a whole bunch of trash. But Splunk works really well.
Sounds like a home lab. All right.
Oh yeah.
That sounds dope.
Oh, yeah. Comcast is scared. Yeah, Comcast is, man. And then and Comcast is actually sharing. So all of the things are like pretty much connected. All the access points, unless you put that Mocha filter in between. It's I mean, but I'm probably going to start moving to more of mesh testing. I'm learning about that one. I haven't got into it deeply yet.
All right, y'all. We're gonna get Skills out of here for the evening before he says something that's gonna triple wire and the whole live gets shut down.
I've been trying, bro.
I know. We could have went a few more hours with you, man. I really appreciate you coming through. Let me send some thank yous out there. Nigel, thanks for coming through. Cyber Secrets, always love having you, bro. DJ BSEC, you stay in these, keeping the comments lit up. J Tech, thanks for coming through. Tia, and some other folks. Welcome in, welcome in. If you're a first timer, check out my page. We have some folks coming through to come chat with us. And tonight we had Skills come through. Skills, on our way out, bro. Anything that you want to say? Anything come to your mind that you may have not got a chance to say?
Well, I always have a lot to say, but I guess like pertaining to red teaming, if you're interested in the field, red teaming or penetration testing, some people frown upon OSCP, but OSCP is a good cert for getting a job. YouTube, there's a guy named YouTube through the Hack the Box, the Hack the Box boxes. I would watch him and like attend a security conference if you can. Like even if you have to come out of your own pocket for it, just attend one, and you'll get a better view of what you would want to do in security, because security also is a huge space, not just IT. There's so many different ways you can go.
Bet that up. Thank you, bro, for coming through and carving out some time and then all the other times too that you pop in and just drop nuggets. So I'm sure I'll see you again, bro. And we just appreciate you coming through, and I wish everyone a great, safe evening. Appreciate you, bro. Thanks.
Appreciate you.
Yup. See ya.